Chapter 2003. Mrs. Richard never expected that after a hard day's work, unwilling to even take a taxi home, she would finally reach her doorstep only to be slapped in the face by an unknown woman. The woman struck her and shouted furiously, "You wretched old lady! You've been eating damn pig food and still dare to come to Beacon Top pretending to be a noble one? You must have something wrong with your brain." After finishing her insults, she immediately shouted to the security guard nearby, "Hey! Come here, are you fucking blind? I spent more than $20 million to buy a house here. Is this how you serve distinguished owners? You let filthy old women, worse than pigs and dogs, come inside? Who's going to protect the mood and interests of the real owners?" The security guard, clearly nervous, rushed over at once. Mrs. Richard looked tired and haggard, with her wrinkled face and weary eyes, not at all resembling the image of a rich old lady from an elite neighborhood. Moreover, she was carrying 4 large plastic bags stuffed with steamed buns, rice, and even a container of greasy vegetable soup, which made her seem completely out of place among the Beacon Top residents. So, the guard hurriedly said to her, "I'm sorry, old lady, this is a private residence. Outsiders are not allowed in. Please leave immediately." Mrs. Richard trembled with rage. Even if she wasn't an owner of Beacon Top, she was still a tenant here, and not just any tenant, but a tenant of the Top Villa. Why should she be beaten and ordered to leave like a beggar? Furious, Mrs. Richard immediately took out her access card, her hands shaking as she shouted, "Open your damn dog eyes and take a good look. This is the access control card for Beacon Top, first grade." The security guard and the female resident froze in shock. The Beacon Top access card was very distinctive, with a unique logo that both of them instantly recognized. Since one of them worked there and the other was a verified resident, they were both familiar with how the card looked. When they saw it, a question arose in both their minds: is this shabby old woman really a resident of Beacon Top Villa? The middle-aged woman frowned and said coldly, "So what if you show a card? Who knows if it's fake? Go on then, try it." Mrs. Richard glared and snapped, "Fine. You just wait. I'll show you." Then she stepped up and swiped her card at the gate sensor. Immediately, the turnstile beeped and a polite mechanical voice announced, "Hello, honorable resident of Villa A04, welcome home." Both the woman and the guard were stunned silent. At Beacon Top, residents were divided into 2 categories. The first were owners, the people whose names were officially listed on the property deeds. The second were household residents, close family members or relatives of the owners who were granted full access privileges. But these residents were far from ordinary people. After all, most of them were direct relatives of the wealthy owners, and even the more distant ones were still well-connected elites. For example, Faria, the current head of the Adair family, was well known in Oris Hill. If she bought a villa here, she would be the owner, while her grandfather, elders, and siblings would be listed as household residents. Although residents were not property owners, their connection to the owners still made them people of high status, not someone ordinary citizens could compare with. When the middle-aged woman saw that Mrs. Richard had successfully swiped her card and was indeed listed as a resident of Villa A04, her face turned pale with fear. Even though she herself had assets worth tens of millions, she was only middle class in Oris Hill. A row of villas like those at Beacon Top, each worth from several tens of millions to over $100 million, was completely beyond her reach.